those are incredibly useful for PC gamers, especially those like our writer.
Ich habe auch so eine Funktion, Alter. Kann ich so... Und dann kann man da so liegen, aber ich wüsste nicht, warum ich das machen soll. Kann man dann schlafen? Na, müde genug bin ich ja. Kann man auch wieder hochmachen. Kann man sich einstellen, so. Und dann ist das geil. Ist das jetzt wieder richtig? Jetzt habe ich meinen Gaming-Stuhl verstellt. Ich glaube sowas. So. Another 10 terrible gifts from the gamer in your life. Also 10 weitere furchtbare Geschenke from the gamer? From the game. Ach, was weiß ich, was da steht, Alter. Ich mach mal Untertitel an, dann könnt ihr hier noch ein bisschen mitlesen und dann gucken wir mal, um was es da geht. Ich denke, wir werden es gleich erfahren. Let's go.
Deck the halls, it's a triple jump list. Fa la 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 la.
Wenn ihr nicht wisst, wer TripleJump ist, ich habe schon ab und zu mal so ein Video geguckt von ihm. Da ging es hauptsächlich so um Collectors Editions und so. Könnt ihr gerne mal in meine Playlist reingehen. In meine, hier die, wie heißt das? Wie heißt denn das? Reaction Playlist und euch alle Videos von mir angucken. Das wäre geil. Let's go.
Is the season to give crap gifts. Fa la 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 la. That's quite enough, I think. Bar humbug and all that. Indeed, it is once again that time of year where disorganized folks all around the world have a mass
Oh, den Film habe ich auch geliebt, ne? Mit dieser blöden Figur, die sie beinahe haben wollten.
panic as they attempt to find holiday gifts for their loved ones. Unlike other YouTube channels who have probably come out with all kinds of gift guides for gamers by now, we here at Team TripleJump prefer to keep things a bit more cryptic. So instead of spelling out what you should buy, we're just going to tell you what you definitely shouldn't buy and leave you to work out the rest for yourself. I have every faith in at least 4 of you. Yes, it's the holiday season once again, so we've searched the toxic waste dump that is the internet to find 10 more awful items that you must absolutely avoid buying for that video game fan you know. I'm the mince pie crumb covered Ben from TripleJump, and here are another 10 terrible gifts for the gamer in your life. Number 10. Snack
Ich glaube, das ist einfach so ein Geschenk für Gamer oder sowas. Top 10.
chopsticks. The unfortunate thing about gaming is the fact that the things you use to hold your controller,
Wo guckt die denn hin, Alter? Guck mal, die guckt immer zur Seite. Die guckt immer da so hin. Oh, da vorne ist der Fernseher und sie guckt immer. Was ist das da? Halt!
your hands are the exact same things that are used to transport snacks from their packaging to your gaping maw, and if your snack of choice is something like nacho cheese Doritos, then you run the risk of getting bright orange flavoring all over your pristine white controller. Ist das eine Produktplatzierung, was da gerade passiert, oder ist das jetzt wirklich schon das Geschenk? I'm just picturing it in that horrible fluffy Sonic one. Remember that? Awful. Fortunately, someone's come up with a solution to this problem. What? No, it's not washing your hands after you eat. What are we, the king? No, it's a pair of plastic chopsticks that attach to your fingers.
Doch, es geht schon los. Guck mal hier, ein Plastic Chopstick für Chips.
So you don't get the cheese dust on your DualSense. Now, before you go clicking add to cart on these bad boys, however, I want you to pause for a moment, take a deep breath, and think just how ridiculous they are. Seriously, bits of plastic strapped to your hands so that you don't get your fingies all messy whilst playing the Nintendo? Utterly ridiculous. Oh, and if you're a person that already...
Finde ich geil. Aber ich zock halt, wenn ich zocke, dann zocke ich halt und dann nehme ich mir halt keine Chips, ne?
has these and uses them. I want you to find
Habe ich das früher gemacht? Ich kann mich gar nicht mehr dran erinnern.
mirror and take a good long hard look at yourself in it. Number 9. Gaming glasses. According to Science Boffins TM, the blue and white light emitted by our phones, computer monitors, and TV screens is seriously screwing with our circadian rhythms. So if you find yourself struggling to get to sleep at night after a long Fortnite session, this might be why. What you could do to combat this problem is to take yourself away from screens about an hour before you settle down for bed, which is, incidentally, what a lot of healthcare professionals would recommend. We all know that's not going to happen, though, but what alternative is there? Gaming glasses, of course! Indeed, if you have a gamer in your life that's struggling to get some shut-eye, then you could buy them a pair of blue light-blocking gamer glasses.
Was soll das bringen? Was soll das bringen?
That's sure to be a good gift, right? Well, no, actually, as there's very...
Moment. Was steht da? Bevorstehende ein... Egal.
Very little evidence that these glasses actually do anything to help with sleep or even eye strain for that matter, so what you'd actually be investing in is nothing more than a less than stylish facial accessory for your video
Also, wenn ich dieses Dings aufhabe, dann wäre ich nicht so schnell müde, oder
game
was?
loving buddy. Perhaps consider a CD of whale songs to help them sleep instead. People still listen to CDs, right?
CD's nuts.
Guy. Number 8. Gaming chair. To be clear, we don't mean this kind of gaming chair. Those are incredibly useful for PC gamers, especially those like our writer.
Ich habe auch so eine Funktion, Alter. Kann ich so... Oh! Und dann kann man da so liegen. Aber ich wüsste nicht, warum ich das machen soll. Kann man dann schlafen? Na, müde genug bin ich ja. Kann man auch wieder hochmachen. Kann man sich einstellen, so. Und dann ist das geil. Ist das jetzt wieder richtig? Ich glaube sowas, oder? Keine Ahnung, Alter. Jetzt habe ich meinen Gaming-Stuhl verstellt. Ich glaube sowas.
Whose back is crippled if she even thinks about sitting on a cheap office chair. I imagine if you bought one of those for a video game loving friend or family member, they'd be very, very grateful. No, we're talking about these monstrosities.
So ein Ding hatte ich auch schon. Totaler Schrott.
Which are, in our opinion at least, worse than a sofa or armchair in every conceivable way. Firstly, they force players to sit at ground level, which is fine if you're a heathen whose TV is on the floor, but for
Das Ding habe ich auch wieder verkauft. Zum Glück. Ich weiß nur nicht mehr an wen. Ist auch egal. Ich hoffe, er hat viel Spaß dabei. An dem Ding. Ich glaube, da war auch so ein Massageding noch irgendwie dabei.
everyone's civilized, it means you have to tilt your head up so you can see your game. This might not be a problem if those strange rocking chair type things had a proper headrest, but they don't. Look at this child! He's gonna have neck ache in no time. Furthermore, your legs end up in a weird position because the
Meiner sah aber noch ein bisschen anders aus, da gab es noch kein LED. Das ist ja schon lange her.
chair isn't high enough for you to comfortably plant your feet on the ground, nor is there anywhere to put your feet up. Plus, what are you supposed
Was ist denn das sinnbefreiteste, was ihr euch jemals geholt habt, was so Gaming betrifft? Also irgendwie so ein Stuhl oder keine Ahnung.
to do with
Schreibt das mal in die Kommentare.
drinks or snacks? Put them on the floor like an animal, I suppose. Number 7. Weird peripherals.
Okay.
Gamers are always banging on about immersion, aren't they?
Wahrscheinlich kommt jetzt eine Angel oder sowas für so ein
Whether they're getting
Angelspiel.
absorbed in the latest RPG or literally surrounding themselves with a game's world using a VR headset, players want nothing more than to feel like they're right in the action. If you don't have the money to spend on a game or a fancy VR headset, though, you might think it's a good idea to spend what pennies you do have on a variety of doohickeys that can be strapped to a controller to make it feel more like a sword or a tennis racket.
Keine Ahnung. Ich hab kein Kommentar. Kein Kommentar, Freunde.
Spoiler alert, it is not a good idea. It tends to be the Nintendo Switch that attracts these abominations, and not only are they very bad for the planet, just being another bit of plastic that will inevitably end up in a landfill, but they're also a complete waste of space. They don't add anything to the actual game, they're a faff to get the controllers in and out of, and whilst very small children might enjoy the novelty, most
Sowas gibt es auch für die PlayStation VR 2. Da gibt es so ein oder für die VR1 gibt es auch sowas für so Shooter. Gab es im Übrigen auch für die Move-Controller sowas. Das hieß Sharpshooter. Das Ding habe ich mir damals geholt. Das habe ich auch noch, aber habe ich wieder eingepackt in der originalen Verpackung. Und dieses andere Spiel, ich weiß gar nicht, wie das hieß, da gab es auch so ein Bundle und das habe ich nie ausgepackt.
adults will just end up stowing them in a drawer, never to see the light of day again. We would have recommended a copy of The Last Hope for the Switch fan in your life, but sadly, it's been removed from the Nintendo eShop. Can't imagine why. Number 6. Anything with an I'm gaming, do not disturb slogan printed on it.
Oh Gott.
We've all been there. You're at a crucial moment in a game that requires the utmost concentration and no interruptions when suddenly some idiot, some buffoon, some absolute cretin walks into the room, stands in front of the screen and asks inane questions like, have you loaded the dishwasher? And what do you want for dinner? Or who are you and what are you doing in my house? If you do know someone who is constantly having to deal with this problem, then for God's sake, do not buy them any item bearing a slogan along the lines of I'm gaming, do not disturb.
Das fand ich auch mal geil, aber es hat sich für mich nicht gelohnt, weil ich habe immer alleine gewohnt. Da konnte keiner stören.
No, it might be tempting. After all, there are a wide variety of items emblazoned with such a quip.
Nicht mal so ein T-Shirt würde ich mir holen.
From socks and t-shirts to door hangers and even neon signs. But I implore you, don't do it. For one, these items are generally tad. But worse than that is the fact that they're just so cringe and funny to absolutely no one older than about 12. Oh, and if anyone out there is thinking this might be great for my 11-year-old nephew, please let me know your address so I can pop round and spritz you with water. That's a terrible idea. Bad. That's a bad auntie.
Powerwash Simulator, Freunde, da gehen wir bald rein.
Controller made out of chocolate. Chocolate! Yay! Video game controllers. Yay! A video game controller made out of chocolate? No.
Warum nicht?
No. As gifts go, chocolate is relatively innocuous, and so you might think that a chunk of chalk shaped like your mate's favorite thing is quite a safe bet.
Also ich wüsste nicht, warum man... Eigentlich sollte man das nicht essen, ne? Das macht ja keinen Sinn. Das ist eher so ein Deko-Ding. Das kannst du dir irgendwie hinstellen und sagen, guck mal, ich habe einen Controller aus Schokolade, aber den esse ich nicht.
But
Für sowas ist das gut. Aber ansonsten, warum sollte man sowas essen? Da kann ich mir eine ganz normale Schokolade kaufen und da reinbeißen.
you would be wrong. Go sit in a corner and think about how wrong you are while I stand here and tell you why you're wrong. Go on. Yep, right in that corner. Well done. The problem with novelty chocolate items is twofold. A, owing to the fact that they are usually just a solid brick, they're incredibly difficult to eat without breaking your teeth and getting melted chocolate all
Ein Solid Brick ist das. Ich dachte, das wäre ein bisschen...
over your hands. Plus, if they're not solid, then they're a complete con. And B, more often than not, they're made from inferior quality chocolate and as such taste like utter plops. If you want to buy someone a gift of chocolate, that's fine, but just leave it at that and don't try to combine it with one of their favorite pastimes, gaming or otherwise. Trust me, spend your hard-earned cash on a box of Lindor. They'll be much more grateful.
Ja.
Number 4. Gaming pillows, couch consoles, couch masters.
Da muss ich sagen, das finde ich schon ganz nice. Diese Gaming Pillows, also je nachdem, was da drauf ist. Und es gibt ja auch so Kissen, die aussehen wie so ein Controller. Das finde ich schon ganz cool.
Etc. There's nothing better after a long, hard day at work than coming home, putting on
Also für den Gaming Room natürlich. Fürs Regal brauchst du das nicht, wenn du irgendwie auf der Couch so ein Ding zu liegen hast. Eins, okay.
your comfies and settling down on the sofa with a good video game and a few snacks. For literally decades, players have been happily gaming from their sofas and armchairs with nary a complaint, but apparently that's not the capitalist way. And now multiple companies are peddling ways to improve the sofa gaming experience. Do not fall for it.
Sofa Gaming Experience. Habe ich auch noch nie gehört.
The first offender is the couch console.
Okay, das hätte ich mir jetzt auch nicht geholt. Das ist für mich Quatsch. Dass ich da so eine Snacks drin habe und Fernbedienung.
£70 plastic box that holds controllers, remotes, drinks, and snacks. You know what else does that? A table. £8 from IKEA. Just saved you 62 quid there. You're welcome. If you know a PC gamer, you might be tempted to buy the Couch Master, an item that is, for all intents and purposes, a lap tray for a keyboard and mouse, and at £150, a bleeding expensive one at that. Perhaps the biggest con of the lot, however, is the gaming pillow, an item costing
Guck mal, da sitzt man gleich gerader, wenn man so ein Gaming Pillow hat, ne?
upwards of £50 that is designed for gamers to
Kennt ihr dieses Ding, wo man so einen Controller reinmachen kann und seine Hände? Und das spielt man dann sozusagen, wenn man FIFA spielt und komplett ausrastet. Also ich mache das nicht, aber andere machen das, die ihren Controller immer gegen die Wand schmeißen und dann geht der kaputt. Der ist dann sozusagen geschützt in so einem Luftpolster-Ding und das kannst du dann wegschmeißen. Kommt wahrscheinlich auch noch.
their tired little hands on. Alternatively, they could just plonk a cushion they already own on their lap and
Also die haben irgendwas anderes gemeint mit Pillow.
rest their hands on it, and you could spend 50 quid on a copy of Baldur's Gate 3 instead. Go on. Number 3. Gaming gloves.
Handschuhe? Was für Handschuhe?
In the world of driving, if you want the world to know that 1. You're a super serious driver, and B. A complete tool, you'll wear driving gloves whilst you're pootling about in your 20-year-old Mercedes C-Class. I suppose it follows then that if you're a gamer and you want the world to know just how serious and or how much of a dickhead you are, you'll wear gaming gloves while you're trying to find diamonds in Minecraft. The purpose of gaming gloves is to help players keep hold of the controller and prevent their gross hand sweat from interfering with their game. Probably not a bad idea.
So ein
Competitive
Quatsch,
gamers, i.e.
Alter.
those who compete in tournaments, not those who throw their toys out of the pram when they lose at Mario Kart. However, for everyone else, it just seems like overkill. What's worse is that a decent pair can set you back the best part of £75, which in today's economy could buy a brand new AAA title and leave you with enough change for snacks. So, in short, forget the gloves and get them a Steam gift card and a tin of Quality Street instead. Oh, seems like we are recommending gifts. You're welcome. Number 2. Books about gaming.
Was ist denn damit gemeint? Sind da Komplettlösungen gemeint? Komplettlösung finde ich okay, habe ich mir auch schon geholt. Aber
Let's
Bücher
get one
übers
thing
Spielen?
straight, shall we? We are gamers. If you cut us open, we bleed that special distilled water you have to put in liquid cooling systems in PCs. Actually, it's a real medical concern. Please can someone help? Because we're super cool gamers, we don't want to see any stinky old books when we're tearing the wrapping paper off our presents. Books are for nerds, and we're not nerds. We're super cool gamers. In all seriousness though, there are a number of books out there covering the history of video gaming, but unless your intended recipient has expressed an interest in delving into video gaming's roots, then it's likely that a gift of the illustrated history of 151 video games, a detailed guide to the most important games, is just going to end up gathering dust on a shelf. If your gaming pal or family member does like to read, you'd be better off just getting them a Waterstones or small bookshop gift card. Screw Amazon. That way they'll be able to choose whether they spend New Year curled up with a good book or exploring space in Starfield.
Ich weiß gar nicht, wann ich das letzte Mal ein Buch gelesen habe, Alter. Das ist schon 1000 Jahre her.
I know which one I'd prefer for the record, and it's not the stinky old book. Number 1. The Lord
Number one. Jetzt kommt Number One, Alter. Also wir sind von 10 runter. Ich habe das gar nicht so mitbekommen mit den Nummern, aber jetzt sind wir schon bei Number One. Number One.
The last time we did one of these lists, we told you that the absolute worst thing to buy a gamer for Christmas is video games, simply because there are so many ways to get it wrong. If you absolutely
Gut, dass es da keine Collector's Edition gab.
must treat the gamer in your life to a shiny new title for their Xbox Series, PS5, Switch, PC, or whatever though, then for the love of all that is holy, do not buy them the Lord of the Rings Gollum. Honestly, no present at all would be better than this steaming hot pile of garbage, and whilst it may not be the absolute worst game ever made, we still imagine that it had Jolkin, Rolkin, Tolkien rapidly revolving in his grave
Was ist denn jetzt der Gegenstand? Ist das Spiel?
like a spinning top attached to a power drill. Technically inept, repetitive, and overall downright boring, the only thing worse than finding the Lord of the Rings Gollum in your stocking would be awakening on Christmas Day to discover that your dad had mistaken Santa for a burglar and beaten him to within an inch of his life. With that said though, such a scene would probably
Das
be
war's.
less of a mess.
Habe ich nicht ganz verstanden. Oh, Moment. Zurück. Ah!
Gollum and
Habe ich nicht ganz verstanden, was jetzt genau der Sinn dahinter war. Was Nummer 1 war, habe ich überhaupt nicht gerafft.
might actually be preferable. Anyways, happy holidays, you precious lot. And if any brands are watching, we have absolutely no shame and will shill for your gaming chair and gaming gloves. Send money.
Okay, ja, war okay das Video, ne? Hier, 1000 Nummer 2, Like. Aber, ich habe mir ein bisschen gewünscht, dass es noch mal ein bisschen weiter gegangen wäre, ne? Hätte man noch ein bisschen mehr verpacken können und so weiter. Naja, aber ansonsten ganz okayes Video, sag ich mal, ne? Und hier, guck mal, das ist zum Beispiel, hier ist auch noch Bettwäsche, Call of Duty Duftset. Alles dabei, was man braucht. Guck mal, vielleicht nächstes Mal. Alright.